To the camera here. All right, sweet.
Well, the day when they said that the warriors would live forever, they have gone, and they're only living in the legends now. You can hear the spirits crying in the wind, lost without a trace at all, left their writings on the wall, famous battles of long ago. Where did all the people go?
All right, got our clearance. We're out of here. Oh yeah, there he is.
Tell me what the chances are to see them live among the stars. Come back, honey, won't you blow?
That's what rain looks like from the air. This is No Willy Willy Harbor on our right. That's where all the goods come in and out of the island. And then if you follow that river upstream, there's a pond up there. That's the Menehune Fish Pond. It's actually a 1,000-year-old fish farm. All right, mics are back on. I do fully encourage their use. Questions, comments, idle chit chat.
Where did they film Jurassic Park?
Oh, so that scene you're probably thinking of, where it's flying through the green valleys, landing by the waterfall, that's Hanapepe Valley. That's actually going to be our first spot. On this side of the island, they grow coffee, primarily. That's our main export. It's also delicious. Should always give it a try if you're a coffee drinker. They sell it everywhere in like the blue bags, and it's, here it's reasonably priced. Anybody staying in Poipu? Yeah, that's down there, that town.
How big is the island? Meaning like length and width-wise?
I think it's 17 miles across and like 14 wide, something like that, 13, 14 wide. Our route is like 60 miles, more or less.
How long have you been flying?
About 10 years. There's the tree tunnel where all the eucalyptus trees surround the road. Very pretty from the ground. And just past it, we've got all these trees kind of in little lots at various stages of growth here. These are eucalyptus hybrids. And they're actually being grown for a purpose, to be burned for electricity. So, Erica, where did you guys fly in from?
Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. East Coast.
Yeah, it was a long trip.
Yeah, I'm from Toronto originally.
Oh, I love Toronto.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been there in a while, though.
How many trips like this do you do a day if you're working?
So if we got a full docket, it's 7. Usually that's only in the busy season, but it seems like there's been kind of a backlog of everyone who wanted to take vacations and couldn't because of COVID. So the busy season's actually kind of extended more than it usually does. So this is Hanapepe Valley ahead of us, this big green valley. We're going to drop in here.
Is this why it's playing Jurassic Park music?
Yeah.
We spared no expense.
Yeah, that's right. I need to watch it again now. So we've got Mauna Puna is the big falls ahead of us. That's Jurassic Falls, where they landed the movie. They also got lots of little guys down the sides. These kind of come and go depending on the rain of the previous day. And if we follow this river up, it takes us up to Kahili Falls, also known as Five Sisters. Which is a spot I would totally love to spend an afternoon in. It's got all these little pools, waterfalls everywhere. Generally be super cool. Just one little problem with that idea. There's no way up here. There's no roads, there's no trails. And that's Kauai in a nutshell. There's about 70% of it is like that. No road, like no ground access. The whole center of the island.
What are these like white tree things popping up?
Oh, so they're like dead trees. Well, I've heard some debate on the issue, but they're trees that got that way from a hurricane in the 90s. So I'm thinking they're probably dead at this point, if they're still looking like that. But, yeah, it came through here and messed a bunch of stuff up. And the opposing view is that they're a really slow maturing tree, and it's actually just kind of like hibernating and kind of like emergency mode for a while, like slowly recovering. But most of what we fly over today is going to be like that. No other way to see it. So we're moving towards the southwest part of the island here, the drier side. You can see the fields on our left are not nearly as green as they were where we were flying earlier. And these canyons have a very different feel also. We're heading into Waimea Canyon, also known as Grand Canyon of the Pacific. And then these Pacific canyons right in front of us are Olokele.
Do the air currents change as you fly over the canyon?
Yeah, we've got, with all the weird texture of the island, it definitely changes as we go from area to area. But we're losing a lot of the wind as we're kind of dropping below the high peaks upwind of us. So each of these canyons has a little river running along the bottom. That's what created it. The soil here is prone to erosion, so it happens a little faster here than it might on the mainland. And this is the oldest Hawaiian island. It's about a little over 5 million years.
Are there any active volcanoes on the island, or are they kind of all extinct since it's one of the oldest islands?
Oh, on this island, they're all extinct. All the Hawaiian islands are extinct other than Big Island. They're all essentially coming from the same spot. Under the tectonic plate, there's like a weak vent in the crust where when the pressure builds, it blows through, punches through the plate, and creates, basically pushing all the seafloor into mountains. And then lava comes out, kind of fills in all the cracks, makes the valleys. And so that's a Hawaiian island. And it's done that 5 times now. So this was the first one, then Oahu, then Molokai, Maui, and then Big Island. So it's in order, and that's why they're all kind of in a line. And yeah, so Big Island is still over the vent, which is why it can still erupt. And it, in fact, just started again just a couple days ago. The red color on the soil, that's from high iron content. So it's oxidizing, rusting. That's what's making it red like that. I like it like this, when it's like scattered lighting. I think that's the best for these hills.
So we see like no houses, no people, because literally you can't get to this.
Yeah, pretty much. There's one little hunting cabin down there, but it's got like a helipad in front of it, basically. Although you can get to the top of the canyon. There's a road that runs along this upper edge. It's actually quite nice. It's paved. It's got pull-offs. You can come over, take photos, whatnot. You can also go all the way to the end and do a trail. It doesn't come down, but it runs along the edge up to the top of the falls here at Waipo'o. So that's Waterfalls there. And that red hill to the left of it, you may see some people up there, or on top of the upper falls.
We were just here yesterday. It's nice. It's neat to fly through it now.
That's cool. So Marina, where did y'all come flying from? Or Dale?
We came from Los Angeles, California, and we came in on Thursday.
Oh, right on. Have you done? Oh, I guess you did the waterfall trail. Nice.
Yeah, we drove to a few of the lookouts. Did some snorkeling.
That's key. That's good. Where'd you snorkel at?
Up the Na Pali coast. Took a catamaran up there.
Oh, right on. I'll be flying over that too. Yeah, actually, that's where my parents live in LA, so I stayed there a bit during this whole COVID thing. While everything was shut down. Not a lot of tourist stuff was happening during that time. So down below there is Barking Sands Military Base. It's also the end of the road. If you took it all the way west, that's where you'd end up. And if you want to go to the North Shore, you have to go all the way around the island. There's no road up the Na Pali here. And you can kind of see why, because it goes up and down. Basically like mountains, and it goes from like 0 to 2,000 over and over again, all the way up and down the coast. And then Niihau is also coming into view offshore here. Kind of an interesting deal. So it's actually a privately owned island, but they let the natives live there, so anyone born there is allowed to stay and maintain, as long as they maintain a residency. So people do live there, but the population is dwindling because there's not, like, you know, central power and Walmart and all the, like, you know, modern conveniences that people like. So people tend to leave, and it's just slowly going down over time. These globes over here on our left, these are this is the tracking station. Basically a bunch of radar. And that's all going west, so we stay on this side, so we're not setting up all their scanners and whatnot. Valley here is Nuololo. We're going to fly over here on our way to Na Pali.
What's our altitude right now?
Oh, we're coming down through 2,300. You can also see the reef through the water here. So all along this shoreline, there's an abundance of sea caves, basically old lava tubes. That cave has a bit of a story, so it connects the two beaches there. That cave goes all the way through. And, oh, go ahead.
Do you know what that's called?
Oh, the beach?
Cave.
No, I don't know the name of the cave. But in the movie Archipelago of Gold, they had a stunt helicopter on crew, and they asked him to fly through there. And he said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. It'll just cost you an extra 50 grand. Danger pay. And they paid it, and he flew through it successfully. And then afterwards, it turned out that they screwed up the filming somehow, you know, no film in the camera or whatever. And so they come back to him, and they're like, oh, can you do it again? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem, just another 50.
So, are there ever people out on that beach? Those beaches?
It looks like there's a boat anchored there offshore, so potentially they would be there, but otherwise it's pretty hard to get out here. You pretty much have to take a boat. Which is part of what makes it cool, you know, get out to these abandoned beaches. So here we have Hanapu Valley. So the Hawaiian kings, they would bury them here. when the Hawaiian king died, it was crucial that they protect his body because they believed it had mana, a type of magic that would mean that any bad magic done to the body would affect the whole clan. So a warrior would volunteer to climb down the sides of the cliff and bury the bones directly into the cliff face so no one could find them. Which is kind of a cool burial plan, but I'm still looking for volunteers.
I see a rainbow off the left side.
We also got a Coast Guard C-130 offshore here. This is the Kauai Valley. It was a pretty big settlement for the Hawaiians back in the day. It's the biggest one, so that's a reason. They had room to expand. It's got beach access. It's also got water in the back, which is kind of unique because everywhere on the island there's waterfalls, but the waterfalls are basically rainwater coming down the side of the mountain. And the waterfalls here are actually springs coming from the earth, so if it doesn't rain for a few days, they don't dry up nearly as easily. That's these guys just coming into view on the left side. People camp in the valley now, and I was told by one of the campers that they've got a niche in here where they use for their shower. So what Kauai is known for nowadays is the trail that comes here. There's a pretty epic 11-mile trail that comes from North Shore. It's like a 9 out of 10 difficulty. People come from all over to try it. It ends right here, basically where that bump in the hill is, right in the crook of the elbow. And I think I see someone down there. I see something white. I assume that's a person. But you kind of hard to tell from here. You can see the trail kind of goes along the sides of the cliff here. And then pretty much at our altitude, it'll be making like a horizontal line across these gray fins. And that's a skinny trail on the side of a cliff.
Brothers, sisters walking hand in hand. Have you seen the...
I'm going to pick it up down here along the red cliffs here, just below the tree line.
Can you smell the flowers? Fill the air with fragrances for free. This is aloha. This is aloha. This is...
So you do boat tours. They come down here and go, the smaller boats will go into some of these caves. They also do like snorkel trips, diving trips, all on this coastline.
Have you felt the power? Mountain craters throwing lava in the air, or its green swept beauty.
And so up ahead, you can see KA Beach is kind of the thing sticking out up ahead, straight ahead. Furthest north we can see. And from there to that beach, that's one trail. That's called Honkapiai Beach. And then that's where Kalilao starts to kind of head back into the mountain here. Or you can alternatively go back into the valley, and there's a trail that takes you up to the waterfall there. It does crisscross the river a few times, so you're kind of like walking on wet rocks a bunch. But otherwise, it's not like a dangerous trail or anything. Much wider, much more well-maintained, the trail to get to this beach. That parking lot there, that's where you start all the hikes from. That's the end of the road on this side of the island. You do need a permit. Can be hard to get. They're kind of like concert tickets, like 2 weeks before they like go on sale or something at like midnight. It's kind of silly, but there's all this rigmarole for a parking ticket. But that's what it is. If you can't get one, there's also a shuttle that takes you out there.
Colored rainbows stretch across the sky. Waterfalls so high, mountains make you cry. You will love.
And so this is where I consider it a change from the Na Pali coast to the North Shore. Kind of comes around the corner here, back into civilization. Now we're coming up on Tunnels Beach here. It's called that because there's tunnels all through the reef here. Makes it kind of a cool snorkeling spot, diving spot. Looks like there's a couple diving boats out there. Especially on a day like today without much waves.
Have you seen these islands?
What does a house cost to be like on the beach there?
Oh, I haven't looked at the Zilla down here, but I'm sure it's pretty expensive. There's Pierce Brosnan's place, that round blue one, kind of directly on our right side. Yeah. I mean, that's probably a little higher than average, but this is an expensive neighborhood, for sure. I mean, millions. Up ahead, we've got Honolulu Bay, Princeville, Puff the Magic Dragon over here, so that's the head. The back kind of arches into the clouds, and then the tail swoops down here. On the side of the island, they grow the taro. It likes this wet environment. It's almost like a rice paddy where it's grown in. And it's like a Hawaiian sweet potato-ish thing they use for making poi. They also put it in a bunch of other stuff, just as a sweetener. As a rule of thumb, if you see some type of food and it's purple, Just buy some taro in it.
We had taro French toast at the hotel.
Exactly. Was it good? Yeah, I think it actually works pretty good in, especially those like bread products, like the manapuas, like the donut-y things. Yeah, game on. As an ice cream flavor, I'm kind of like, it doesn't do a lot. So now we're getting to the wet side. The reason this is the wet side is basically because we've got the clouds coming in from the northeast here. Very, very consistent wind direction in the Hawaiian Islands called the trade. And it's bringing moist air because it's coming from the ocean, so it's going to be wet, onto the island. And then it gets ramped on this. There's this ridge line that runs this way, south, that goes from, I don't know, about 1,000 to 4,000. Very fast, very steep ramp. So it ramps up the side here, and that cools the air, forcing the molecules closer together, squeezing out water. So you'll see, like, even areas where it was kind of patchy clouds beforehand, once it gets through here, it's only becomes solid. And if it was already solid, coming in here, it gets darker, wetter, that kind of stuff.
Let the new day come, all the sons and daughters in the eyes of the morning sun. We are all...
So we're going to pull up to this waterfall here in Namalomakama. That's this mountain. Because I like the center one a lot. It's actually like 20 waterfalls, all just kind of connected, one after the other. Did I kill you with that turn, Erica?
A little bit.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
And we're heading into Honolulu Valley here, following this river up. These are Pacoa Falls here on our left side. And on our right side, it's a lot more bit randomized, depending kind of where the rain falls the day before. Which waterfalls are going any particular day kind of changes. You can see brown streaks where it's possible for waterfalls to come down, and then these white walls here, that's what's called the weeping wall. limestone, indicating that this was once underwater, which isn't surprising if you were listening earlier when I was talking about how the island got pushed up, right? So pretty much all of the mountains here were underwater at one point. Had some rain through here just on the last hour. So we're seeing a few extra little kind of waterfalls that don't always show up. And we're going to head over to the next cool spot, which is Waimea.
How long have you lived on the island?
Oh, just a few months now.
Oh.
Since the summer.
Really?
Yep. This is the old extinct volcano. Doesn't have fire anymore, but it sure has water. It's actually the wettest spot on Earth. Gets about 500 inches of rain per year. And there's just a really cool spot full of waterfalls now. So in here, these cliffs are like 3,000 plus feet, straight up and down.
Just for a day, our king and queen would visit all these islands and saw everything. How would they feel about the changes of our land? Could you just imagine if they were around and saw highways on the sacred grounds? How would they feel about this modern city life? Tears from
Are these waterfalls also when there's more of them when it's been raining?
Oh yeah, big time. They dry out really fast, actually. There's not a lot of water storage on the top of this. So even during the day, like if it rains like right now and doesn't rain again for the rest of the day, they'll start to dry out like hour by hour. They'll get skinnier and skinnier. So it's perfect right now, like right after the rain comes through.
be content, stand and cry for the gods, cry for the people, cry for the land that was taken away, and then yet you'll find a way. Could you
You can kind of imagine the lava kind of flowing out here, basically just creating this whole lowlands area.
How would you feel about this modern city life? Tears
So up here you can see them clear cutting some of the albizia trees, this African albizia, yeah. It's the stuff that looks like broccoli. Makes these really thick canopies. The canopies are cool. Well, it's not cool for the other plants because they're really solid and dark. It basically like makes it dark underneath. Up here they're cool. But the reason, so they're cutting them down because it grows really fast, and it's considered invasive now. Although they did bring them here on purpose. They came from Africa. They in Africa it makes this really nice wood that you can use to like build all sorts of stuff out of. But the way it works is it grows really fast in the wet season and then hardens in the dry season. And so we don't have a dry season. So it just keeps growing and growing, and it grows like 10 feet per year or something. It's insane. But never turns into the nice useful wood. It just stays this like wet, splintery, useless wood that they just throw into the biomass furnace for electricity, basically.
How's that?
So all through here, this is where most of the Kauai beef comes from. It's all grass-fed, just kind of wandering around.
Free myself from worries so I can see it's just
Got Wailu on the left, both the town and the rivers in that kind of indent there. It's got a nice falls there that you can see in person pretty easily. If you drive, the road goes right by it, so you can just pull right up to it. And it's, I mean, it's not a 3,000-foot monster that, you know, we flew past today, but in person, like right up to it, it's still good. It's a couple hundred feet.
we're always trying to start.
That's it right there. Waimea Falls. It's blowing pretty heavy today.
For that inner peace. When your eyes are open, you see things differently. There's so much gloom hiding.
And through here, I'm going to be disabling microphones because we're coming back down to land.
From worries, so I can see it's just a beautiful day. Just a beautiful day. I could be sad, but you'd rather me not be. Don't dwell on the negative, just the positivity. And it's a beautiful day. And it's a beautiful day. We're always trying to satisfy these wants and needs. Take you some time for that inner peace. When our eyes are open, you see things differently. There's so much gloom hiding the reality. Just a beautiful day, yeah, a beautiful day, yeah, it's a beautiful day, yeah, it's a beautiful day, yeah. Take a look into the sky, take a look into the sky, keep your head up high.
Alright, folks, we're back on the ground safe and sound. You can take off your